Chinese teacher，语中就是because this is a integrate continuity，就是导师是吗？是吗？哈，class foreign teacher，那他有跟你备课吗？prepare the class together？
就是他会跟我说他想上什么，因为我觉得他就是英文跟中文主题好像会有点差异，所以像那课程我就是基本上有一周是以我们中师的主题为主，对，然后去给我们去发挥他可以发挥的英文内容。那另外一周我就可以给他用他的英文主题去发想，那我们就变得辅助他在这上面。对，
因为我刚刚看到就是Matt 去 leading 这个 class 嘛，然后小朋友偶尔会有一点点 confuse， 不是很清楚 Matt 他在说什么的时候，你也会在旁边对，就是辅助。对，但是我们一直有强调，像昌平教授有讲，就是可能应该知道，就是说不要去做翻译的动作。那我发现你们也都做得很好。那我就觉得说，这个中式的角色到底在哪里？那我觉得像我们学校已经第3年了啦，我觉得我们中式的角色比较大的是在那个备课的部分，然后我们在课堂上原则上还是会让外师去 hold 这整个课堂这样子。但是这个课是我们希望他上，比如说像有防灾啊，有什么 COVID-19 这些主题是我们希望他上的这样子。我就觉得你们是第1年嘛，慧珍还有许淑华校长真的带得很好。
好，谢谢彩丽校长的回馈哈。那接下来是由美玲呢，好的，谢谢美玲老师。
I think用这个就好。Hi. After this class, I think students enjoy a lot. And in the beginning, the teacher Matt he used a lot of PowerPoint to review. That is good, but I think since this is the second time, so maybe students can they don't need to repeat. Maybe you can do a little bit like competition. Maybe who can know the word first. So maybe the feeling of challenge, then they can want to speak more because you mentioned about some students are shy, right? So they seldom talk. So maybe this one will be good for them to competition. And they are 6th graders, so sometimes we can encourage students to speak sentence instead of the word because I found some students English is good, so they can speak a lot of it, even the long sentences, not only simple 1 or 2 words. So at this time, maybe if you can teach them about the left, maybe they can make that in large or longer the words and make a sentence. And in the beginning part, you used a lot of PowerPoint to do the review. That is good, but some direction, I think videos will be better than the picture. That part, the student will understand more. And the second, and I think the class management is well because I still see the naughty students or say some good words, so they can follow your instruction very well. And little bit suggestion is sometimes maybe teacher can walk to the students' table to see or do one by one Q&A. Yeah, because I see just only 18 students, so this is a good practice for one by one, so can be good quick one. And also the step is so clearly, and the student can follow each game, and they enjoy well. But I found the small tiny is about the map on the screen. I don't know because I see so far, so some words is a little bit small. Yeah.
Well, I had to, if it was making it hard, you wouldn't be able to see the whole map.
Oh.
But the students can all see it. So
they can see it. Okay.
They asked them if they could see it. Students can all see it, but yeah, if I made it any larger, it would cut off part of the map.
Because sometimes I enjoy the class, I want to follow your instructions, so I see the word, then you say next one, so I a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I try to make it bigger, but that's as big as I can get it on the screen without it cutting some of it off.
So that is what I found. And the little tiny suggestion is you also mentioned some of them maybe low intermediate level. So the place you choose to show them, when you use the laundromat or some words. So sometimes for those students, maybe you use the place like 7-Eleven or bookstore. It will be easy, or maybe some drink shop then. would be easy to
I
learn
didn't
the
make notes of
direction.
map on that I got off the internet, because it's hard to find a map. with
Oh,
the-
yeah.
Yeah, easier places. I was trying to find, most of the places they should know, they might, they're Chinese, the Chinese English teacher told me they study those places, so. That's why the ones I went over was laundromat and things like that. I went over those because those are probably places they did not know. But most of the other places I think they should have known from the other class.
That is a good example, but I just worry you mentioned about some students, maybe they need time to capture this word, so maybe some easy place, and then for them it will be easier, yeah. And, yeah, that's what I observed in the class, but basically I think students enjoy a lot, and they can even use technology device very well in the beginning of the class, yes, so I think, and some of the boys really enjoyed it, when they repeat, they can speak loudly, and some they enjoy it, they seem to find it. So I think they learn the direction in class and also match the goal of the learning, yes. Thank you.
好，谢谢美玲老师。接下来是我们台中教授。
这班是自优班，很厉害。
都是老师教的好。
As for today's class, I think the teacher met. They're willing to engage the students, and that's a very good thing. And I can see that students, they love your class. Okay. But as for the goal, okay, as for the goal for our bilingual program, it is to teach them the subject, not the language itself. Okay. Yeah, because we are doing EMI, okay, English as a medium of instruction. So we are teaching them PE, or we are teaching them arts, or we are teaching them integrated activities through English, but we are not teaching them English. Okay. So for today's class, I think it's more of a language class. Okay, the nature of this class is more of the language class, it's an English class. We are teaching them how to say these things, okay, through the activity that you design. Okay, if it's an integrated activity class,
It's not anything, it's not, it's a life class.
it's a live class.
And the subject is giving direction, so it's not, I'm not teaching English. Because the topic, like, my last open class was, restaurant, ordering at a restaurant. So yeah, they're gonna learn a lot of English words, but it's an everyday life thing that they need to know when they go to a restaurant, how to order. So this is not an English class, it's a topic about giving directions, because that's something they really need to know how to do and how to listen. And so the topic is a live class on giving directions.
So if it's a live class, okay, so the objectives would be, okay, asking for direction, or, to, do the survival. If it's a survival class, okay, survival, if we're going to a foreign country, usually what we will do is that we will use Google. Okay.
Google doesn't always work. I'm always disappointed on Google Maps. I even not use Google Maps, I still have to get out of my car. Even today, I get out of my car and ask for directions because Google Maps many times have been wrong. So I don't rely on Google Maps all the time.
Yes, but nowadays we don't carry a map with us when we go abroad, right? We still use Google Map most of the time, even though it might not tell you the right direction, but you know the place there.
Not necessarily.
You can still get there, right?
Not necessarily. I still have to use Google Maps. I still have to get out of my car many times and ask someone how to get somewhere.
Yes.
Even in Taiwan, I've had to
Yes,
ask
of
people.
course. There are times Google Maps might be wrong, right? That's when you have to ask for, help.
Yeah,
So when you ask for help, okay, or when you ask for help, usually what you will say will be, okay, go straight and then turn left, right? Like this kind of very simple directions. Okay, if it's a very long direction to get to your point, to get to your destination, most of us will just forget what the help has said.
Part of us is listening to.
Yes,
to listen, yeah.
So maybe this one, so way before this one, maybe you can ask the students to plan a trip, maybe in San Francisco. When they visit San Francisco, how do they get to the places they want to go? Okay, those places are very famous places usually, so it might not be wrong very easily. And maybe it would be a better idea to show them your hometown, right? Show them your hometown and how to get to those tourist spots in your hometown. So they know they have the ability, you know, to
I've
plan
done contact
things
that before.
and look at the map, know the map. I think that's the ability that we want our students to have in this kind of life class. Okay. And then when they hear others' directions, they could understand, okay, turn left and right. Those kind of simple directions would be enough. We are foreigners, so we can you know, we can just catch some keywords there and go with the same very simple directions. Okay. So if it's very long and very complicated direction, usually we get lost. Okay. So maybe just simple ones. Okay, just to assist us when we really need help. We don't have the Google Map, or the Google Map just doesn't work. Okay, but the main point is that we want our students to have the ability to plan the trip, maybe plan the trip themselves, okay, and to get to where they want to go. Okay, and so if it's finding directions, okay, you want them to, you know, guide, you know, not for if the objectives is for them to give, okay, give direction to others. They are the help. If they are the help, if that's the objectives here, maybe have the students just give us the direction around the campus. Maybe how to get to the restroom. They can show us how to get to those places or how to get to the meeting room here, right? They can guide us if the objectives is for them to give directions, to give help. Okay.
The object was to give directions, because like I said, even if you're like somewhere in Taipei, you're near the area, but you don't know exactly where it is, so it's very basic directions. Turn right, like the ones I gave you was very basic. And as far as planning a trip like that, I've done that actually before in another school, where they had to plan a whole trip to another country or in Taiwan. They had to give me hotel reservations, airline tickets, they had to do places they're gonna go visit and things around the city, but for their level, it would be really difficult because.
Just narrow the task.
Because
just narrow the task. We don't have to do the whole thing. Just one part of the trip.
So I'm saying something like that would take. Because we did it at my school and it took like almost 3 to 4 weeks, and we didn't have that time. So we had a lot. Our schedule for the semester is this lesson's only for like 1 or 2 weeks.
The schedule here. Okay, I'm going to stress here. The schedule is not important. What's important is students' ability. Whether they have the ability to do something in their life, and they have the ability to carry on, they can carry with them throughout their lives. That's most important. So what you did, 3 or 4 weeks, that's right. That's the right thing to do. So don't just, you know, because of a textbook, you have to rush everything. It's not right. Okay, textbook is like a buffet. Okay, you pick what you think the students need the most. You don't have to eat everything in the buffet, okay? Okay, so that's what I'm going to stress here. Okay, schedule is not important. Okay, what you did, that's the right thing to do. Okay, and if the objective is about knowing the signs, the road signs. Okay, if the objective is that, well, why not just, you know, take pictures of the neighborhood, okay, the signs in the neighborhood, and then show them, okay, here's the sign in that area. Okay, what would you do when you see that sign? Okay, what would happen if you just don't follow it? Okay, or maybe just take your students if you could. Okay, take your students outside and recognize those signs. What would you do? You know, for your own safety. Okay, what would you do when you see the sign? Yeah, it's more like life skill here.
Well, I had to teach them the signs right now because they didn't know them. The only reason they knew them is because I did this whole class yesterday with them, so they would know how to answer the questions. Because I just yesterday they didn't know a lot of them, and so I reviewed this with them, and so they already knew a lot of the answers, and because of these open classes doesn't show the true thing of what these students can and cannot do. That's why a lot of foreign teachers don't like those open classes. It doesn't really show what the students do.
Yeah, it only shows a very small piece of your.
So the reason I knew those signs already is because I just reviewed with them yesterday. And yesterday they did not know those signs. So if I would have told them a sign, what is that on the street, they probably didn't know the answer. That's why I
the most important thing is that they know what to do when they see the sign, but not knowing what's the name of the sign. Okay, the important thing is that, okay, what to do when you see the sign, not know about the name of the sign. Okay, yeah, that's life, right? Life of the life class objectives. Okay, so that's my main suggestion for today. And maybe if there are usually words that students don't know, it's common, right? Because students' English level may not be as good as we expect. So maybe just try, okay, try to limit the words that they don't know in one class, just under 5, just under 5. Because if there are a lot, well, they might not be able to remember, okay, very well. Okay. So, and for the local teachers' role in bilingual class, okay, so as Professor said, okay, foreign teachers, you are more like, yeah, local teachers. Local teachers are more like a director in a movie, okay? Because you know the curriculum, okay? You know Taiwanese curriculum, you know it, and you know your students. That's why you are like a director, right? You know the basics. So you can work with the foreign teacher. You can discuss, okay? Because foreign teachers, they will bring their thing, for example, some of their learning experience or their teaching experience, okay, from your country to Taiwan. You can talk to each other and design the activity that fits the objectives for your class, for your subject. Okay, so local teacher is more like a director, okay, in this part. Yes, the preparation is more the local teacher, because the local teacher knows more about our curriculum and students. As for foreign teachers are natural speakers, okay, of English. So they know how to talk to our students in the kids' language, okay? How to simplify the words so that the students understand them. Okay, for us, local teachers, it's harder for us to do that. Yes, because we have not, we don't have experience to talk to kids. Foreign kids, we don't have experience. Usually we start speaking English when we are in university. So we only talk, the adult kind of English. We never had a chance to, practice our, kids English. Okay, so, and of course, the foreign teachers, they have plenty of activities and experience in many different subject areas, so they can bring in their own culture, okay, and their own educational background to our classes and make the class more cultural diverse and more rich, okay. And as for the foreign teacher, it's more like the role of an actor. So an actor is all over the place, right? All over the movie. The director doesn't always show, right? But the point of that is that our local teachers can, handle the class themselves as years go by. Okay, we expect our local teacher to teach the bilingual class themselves. Okay, maybe 1 year or 2 years later. And if we do that, we can increase the amount of our bilingual classes. Because we only have one math. We cannot have more, right? So the classes that math teaches is only 20 or less, right? So we need our local teachers to grow with our foreign teacher. And when the time comes, right, 1 year or 2 years later, local teachers, you can start teaching the classes yourself. And then the foreign teachers, you can move on. Yes, that's the plan. Okay. The foreign teachers, you can teach more of the other subject or other grades. Yeah. So because we don't have unlimited projects, right? We only have one math. Okay, so learn from each other. That's the main point here. Okay, so that's the whole suggestion here. I hope it helped.
非常谢谢可恩教授的应该说建议跟勉励啦，我们就一起加油，让我们的课程更具文化性。来。
Okay, good morning. First of all, I like the atmosphere of this class. because when I walk into a classroom, students are naturally to greeting to us. I think it's very good. So I think the teachers should hold this chance because they are willing to this to this class. So today they are very active. It's not as the usual observation when we go to other schools, students may be quieter. But today, they, like the teacher Matt said, they speak more and louder. So I think maybe as the teaching objective, maybe you can adjust more difficult for them because they are already sixth grade. The turn left, turn right is very, very easy for them, but they should have to learn how to use in their life, like 可能说的这样子，对。So and the other hand, I noticed that the teacher might almost have you almost do not have the eye contact to the students.
That's because you're on the back. I don't want to look at you. I've been teaching here for 20 years, and I still hate doing these open classes. I hate when people are watching me teach. So
Even though, but
usually
they
whenever
are
I'm
your
on the back, I look at the students more. But
okay. Yeah, because if have more eye contact, you can make sure if they already catch your information. For example, in the beginning, you ask them to get impaired to use the iPad, but almost most students do not know what they have to do. So this is my suggestion. And in the final activity, I suggest that maybe you can give them the more difficult task. Like if teacher Matt want to go from place A to class B and how they can get there. And this can push them use the word they learn, not just the final place.
I like that too, but that would be probably another lesson. Because like I said, y'all think it's too easy for them, but really it's not. Their level is very basic. I read a very
But I think they really can do more.
I know, but
Yes.
they have to know this part first. They have to know the easier part first, and then later I like the activity. Yeah. So next time I could tell them, okay, I'm gonna go. I'm here. I want to go there. Tell me how to get there.
Yeah.
But they need to do this part first because they need to learn that part. Because you think go straight and turn right. For a lot of them, it is not too easy. Those are very basic things that a lot of them did not know. Even whenever the first time I did it with them, they did not know that stuff. And they, like I said yesterday, I read a very short, like a very young children's story with them, or it's about honesty. We're talking about honesty, and they could hardly read it.
So when you work this activity, you divide the students into two teams, and I suggest that maybe you can divide into more, 3 or 4 teams, and then that can allow more students participate in this activity, and they can have more chance to practice to speak more. Yeah. And I think Shihai Elementary School is a really friendly environment. And the amount of the students in the class is not as many as other schools. I think it is a good chance for you to teach here, and so we wish you can give them more than just teach English. This is what I suggest. Yeah. 那综上所上面的我们整个的教学看来，我觉得从行政端真的看得出校长跟主任真的非常非常的用心去执行这个计划。虽然是第一年，可能看起来一点都不像第一年的感觉，对，那真的是主任跟校长都很用心。那包括除了行政团队的用心以外，老师们也愿意参与，我觉得这个是很难得的。对，那再加上既然是有这样子。天时地利人和的条件下，那我觉得有这个外师在的话，我们可以适度的让外师更知道说，我们桃园市在让这个双语计划的时候，真的是很着重在 EMI 的这一个部分，就不要可惜了这个这么难得的资源，而让说可能外师在学校里面只是单纯的教英文，我觉得这样会真的很可惜，因为我们桃园真的投注很大的资源。 跟经费在这一件事情上面。那我觉得还有另外让我觉得很棒的是，学校的老师都很愿意跟外师来共备的这个部分。那刚才我说共备的话，可能因为你们都会用到你们综合课的部分。那综合课的话，我觉得我们原本的选定的教材都是依据小朋友的身心发展去规划出来的。那我觉得就更可以让你们更让外师知道说现在的孩子的学习程度跟内容可能在哪里。那依据他们目前的认知的程度去规划适合的课程，而不要太简化。我觉得有一点点可惜，对，去鼓励孩子们，因为我觉得可以从课堂上的氛围感受到孩子是愿意跟开放的，那更要把握住这样的气质。我们很期待，我觉得西海一定会越做越棒。那以上是我的分享，谢谢。
今天真的是非常感谢啊，我们这么专业的团队来给我们的 TeacherMate 一个 feedback。然后我也非常感谢我们6年甲班的导师啊，思璇老师啊，还有我们的英语老师佳瑜老师哈。TeacherMate 到我们西海国小的时候，他8月1号第一天报到，8月2号就跟我们下田了，就跟我们到田里去插秧，因为学校本身在推动生态教育，所以我们生态教育希望他也能够了解在地，因为在地周边都是精致农业区，所以我们希望他能够了解这个地方。那我觉得他第一天给我的回馈是他非常的开心，因为他在美国那么多年也没有种过稻，然后来到台湾，他第一次能够体验下田，这是他很开心的地方。后来种完稻之后我们的相关的一些活动课程，他都很认真参与，所以我们觉得就多了一个助手那刚刚可正老师也讲到就是在地的可贵啦，让我们 TeacherMate 多了解我们。那我们都在磨合当中。其实这一年最辛苦的是导师，因为导师的综合课那每一周其实进度是就是那个脚步是不能停的。然后刚开学才认识，所以这种备课的过程当中非常的辛苦。可是我也从中看到思璇老师也因为这样子就是彼此都进步很大，也跟等于是跟我们的 mentor 这个纯英文这样的沟通非常好，所以几个老师都在成长。那第一次呢，其实我们不抱任何的预期啦，我们是想说有这个经验，然后大家参与，那今天大家给我们的回馈，我们都是且战且走，只希望说孩子真的能学到啦，因为孩子是不同的上课模式嘛，他们也是第一次的体验，然后刚开始他们很辛苦，因为他们都听不懂真的都还要眼神投注在老师那边求救，到底这个老师在讲什么可是慢慢的认识了 TeacherMate， 他人非常的和善，然后跟孩子的感情很好，所以也因为这样的学习，所以今天非常感谢大家。对，再讲一下下。好来。谢谢老师。
Well, Matt, what you did here was great. It's great, okay? But I heard that you go to the rice field with the students, and you just plant the rice with them. I think they are really great, and I think you're great. Just the direction, okay? Just twist the direction a little.
Like that, I like both your ideas. Well, with your idea, I did actually do that before, and I like the idea like you did, but. See, the foreign teachers we always talk about this at our training sessions in the summer, is how many teachers or the schools don't understand is, see, we go to a school, like last year I was at a school, and I was teaching a subject, I can't remember what it was, but I have taught with 2nd and 3rd graders before, and I was teaching 6th graders, and the director, she was also my co-teacher for 6th grade, and she was trying to like, this is too difficult for them, like, with 2nd and 3rd graders.
Yes.
And so I was just like, and so we come to this. So since when I came here, I knew that they never had foreign teachers. So I don't know what their English and what I've been told by most of my wife who's Taiwanese and also my Taiwanese friends and other teachers. They said once you get out of the city, the level of English is a little not as high for most the average. So when I came here, I thought, well, I wasn't sure what they're doing, and I'm still trying to figure out. I've been here for one whole semester. I'm still trying to figure out what how much they know or can or cannot do. And so that's why I did this, because I've done something with them last semester that was a little difficult, and I
Yes, I would agree, because
so-
it has something to do with their grade level.
yeah. Well, the grade level is just
Because actually, the younger they are, they will accept everything
Yeah.
you say, you talk, that you teach them, okay? But for the higher graders, they will have harder time, you
yeah.
know?
Their
Because
levels.
their content is harder.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's hard to pick up English,
Yeah.
just in the, when they are so,
Yeah,
you know.
that's why, I mean, like, I would do your activity, like, spend more time than I would do that one later, once they know everything better, and then, you know, like I said, I've done that activity before, they had to plan a trip, they had the iPad, they had to plan a whole vacation, and then they had to present it to the class.
That's really cool.
Each group had to present their vacation to the whole class, where they're gonna go, what they're gonna do, what airline they're taking, what time they're gonna leave, what hotel they're staying in. And I could do something with them, but they'll need more time, but I just always worry because when you do something too difficult, as a foreign teacher, you always hear like, because I've been in some schools where the county teacher will say, so do you understand what Teacher Matt is saying? And they're like, no, and I'm like, but they say no because I think sometimes in the students' mind, they feel like they have to understand everything, which is impossible. They don't. I try to tell the teachers, it's okay if they don't understand everything I say.
That's right.
But to them, they will go home and say, oh, I don't understand my foreign teacher. And then,
So they
Then
know
the
what
parents
to do
will-
in class, right?
yeah, I'm not saying, but then if their parents are asking them, or someone's asking them, do you understand the teacher? And they'll say no, but they probably do understand.
So that's why we have to talk to the parents.
But then they get complaints, and then the parents complain about us because, oh, the teacher doesn't teach well, or speaking too fast, and it looks bad on
It
us.
takes time, right? It takes 2 to 3 years time for
Oh, yeah.
students to, speak English.
Yeah, that's what
And
I'm
to
saying.
know everything you say in class.
Yeah,
It takes time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Especially you only see them like 2 or 3,
Yeah.
only 2, right? 2 periods
Well, for this class, 2 periods a
Yes.
week, and.
per week. It's a miracle that we can do that already.
So that's why we're always worried about, okay, there's complaints about, it, like, okay, if they don't understand us, then it looks bad on us, and then.
Tell them it's okay to not understand everything.
Yeah.
Right.
I try to, yeah, and so I just don't know, like, are people complaining that, because they think if they don't understand, then it might be the teacher's speaking too fast. Well, I mean, not necessarily. We just, so I think they understand some, which is okay. If they understand some, then that's good. They shouldn't understand everything. I mean, I think,
It accumulates with time.
yeah.
Yeah. Just give them time, and also help the students know that, and let the parents know that.
And they're still at the level where their confidence is still,
Of
they're
course.
afraid. I really have
Of
to push them to speak sometimes, because if I ask for volunteers, well, there's one boy and one girl in that class, they'll always volunteer. But the other class, I have to actually call their names.
Because they have higher English ability.
Yeah, those two are, yeah,
So I would suggest for our school curriculum here is that would you, put most of the bilingual classes, in the lower graders, the first or second grade graders, okay? Because they need a lot of hours, immersing in that English environment, and they easily pick up language from foreign teachers. So it's easier to do bilingual classes in lower grades. Okay, for the higher graders, you can maybe just 1 or 2 periods for them to have a taste of bilingual classes. But for lower graders, for example, the second graders, we have most of the hours in the second grade. Okay, and as they move on to other grades, our local teachers will be more capable of, holding the class in the second grade, and the foreign teacher will move on to the third or fourth grade. And of course, there are fewer bilingual class hours, following the grade. So, but it's still okay. Just have the student to, adjust to the bilingual classes when they are young. Second grade, first grade, that would be great. As they move on, they won't be afraid of speaking English, and they already know a lot of English by then. Okay. Don't spread the whole bilingual class from grade 1 to 6. That's not a really good way to do this bilingual for the kids. So I'm sorry, I just
可以说一下嘛，就是因为其实真的说真的，就是我们 学校或是我们班，我觉得英文能力真的没有太好。那你刚才说的那个结合生活的部分，其实我们在上学期的地震或是火灾，我们就是有人物在火灾逃生里面，所以他们就有学习到走方向的部分。我发现他们对于方向这件事情，他们是没有基本常识的，所以我们觉得，这件事情好像可以变成一个主题，所以我们才把它有点像是把，好像要先做这个主题，再变成融合生活，然后有点颠倒，我发现融合生活不行，我们才回来再把这个主题把这个主题先做好，因为我们先做了在生活化的逃生。
对，就是直接就让他们知道怎么样逃生。对，那就不是说先知道语言，你再知道逃生。
但是我们做完逃生之后，发现他们有时候
他们先上了逃生，
已经发现
上
完
了，
他不会，
他们只会向左跟向右。
对，他们对于方向的就是英文，
就是连中文都不清楚这样子。
中文都清楚，但是不知道说往前走、右转，他们都讲中文，可是 turn left、turn right 他们就不会讲。那所以他们才会，
他们不会讲无所谓，因为重点不是在于，而是他们知道怎么逃生这件事情。
这都会，
对，这样子你就达到你的目标了。
融合在自己的地方，然后就是妹妹可以延伸到如果出国的话，遇到或者在国内遇到外国人要问路的话，他没有吃Google Map或者什么的时候，他可以做的事情，或者他在国外可以做的事情，我们是从这边去发想说，这件事情好像可以再延伸到另外的生活的主题。
对，那所以今天课程就是这样，就是说我们可能就是让学生真的是知道说他怎么去规划一个他要去的地方，然后如果他真的不知道路的时候，他问人家，他听得懂很简单，只要 right left 这些东西就好，因为像那个 on the corner 还有什么 between 还有那个太多了，那这些东西我们通常在问路，即使我们是中文我们也记不起来了，对，那所以说可能就是我们是要以学生能力，就是说他的生活能力为主，让他知道说我们怎么去规划我的行程。那如果在路中我不知道是迷路或什么的，我 Google Map 我怎么查？我查了我就知道怎么走。万一我还是不知道的话，我问一下人，就是这样的一个整体的能力。所以但是他不是说一定要有语言他才能做这件事情的，他是这件事情本来就做，语言只是用来教他做会这件事情的工具而已。
对，所以之后可能下一节课可以把它拉回在生活，就是他可能就是一个就是一直可以做下去的课程也从
然后像 Matt 老师说的，就是因为他会怕说跟不上课程的进度，那这个进度的话，就是要我们跟老师要放下一点，就是要真的要放下，因为所谓的综合课这些课程，它没有所谓的进度。
其实我们因为我们还是从上次的那个就是访问来的那些东西，我觉得好像他们的基础不是很够。我想说，我们这次是以品格为主，就好像比较可以连接故事性的东西。我就希望带一些可能英文一些比较常见的一些故事，让妹去说故事，还有说让他们就是练习看一些故事性的东西，他们可以比较拉长，就是不是单字性的内容。
故事性的东西，我不知道对学生来讲会不会
他们其实他们
对，
就是他说是简单的他就说这次他想要融合一些比较简单，就是他们已经知道的故事，但是变成英文的方式。
对，因为重点是小朋友他知道这个故事的目的是要做什么。是要让他们知道防灾这件事情怎么逃生嘛？是这样吗？对，那是不是就是让他们就直接会去做这件事情就 OK？ 这样，那故事的部分我不太确定那个故事是什么，只是说你如果目的是那样子的话，那故事就是我们是要让学生动手做，在做中去学，所以我们的课程都是一些综合课嘛，或者生活课、体育课这些东西。对，那是不是就让他们用动手做的方式去学会？因为故事如果要这样一直讲，就变成说老师自己在讲。那可能学生没有动手做，去知道这个你的目的的这个过程就没有了。对，其实最难的真的就是活动设计。
就是最难就是因为我们就是一直会卡在到底怎么样让他们可以融入的更不这么刻意，就是这件事情真的很难拿捏。
先从他们有兴趣跟可以理解的方面去着手，会比较引起他们的学习的动机跟兴趣。
我可以提供一个小小的建议，比如说像Mate，比如说一个 foreigner 来到我们学校，那可以请学生做一个小小的，比如说，如果今天有一个外国人来到校门口，他想要就是可能就是老师就是当成是外国人说我要去厕所，那小朋友可能只要3个指令就好 ，go straight、turn right、turn left， 然后就是正确的指令教他怎么去厕所，我觉得这是一个能力，就是融入到那其实只要教3个单词就好，其他就是 follow me， 就跟着我讲，其实他只要知道这4个 turn。他就可以引导外国人跟到我们学校来，他要怎样去厕所？我觉得这样就是 可以融入生活之中，非常简单。然后第二个，你就可以带他延伸说，如果那个老师之后想要去 office，去 teachers office， 你不要那种教务处太难的那种单词，他学生会觉得太难。就或者 it is my office， 然后就说，也是一样那4个字嘛 ，follow me 嘛 ，turn right turn left go straight， 对，我会觉得这样可能对他们来说会真的有融入生活。那再接下来就可以倒过来演嘛，就是就他们自己演外国人，然后就是我们在旁边看，然后2个招待的学生，就是然后再把说，那我要怎么样去借篮球 ，borrow basketball， 对，到时候可能就有一个比较再更延展的。对，比如说因为那个处是在 between 在比如在厕所跟 office 中间，可能就是在就是堆叠上来，有点像鹰架理论堆叠上来，这样可能会一方面融入生活，一方面就是对于比较低学习成就的孩子，可能觉得，我好像只要知道这几个字就好，因为 follow me 看来就是不是比较不太难的词汇，就真的只要这4个字就好，可能就是然后再从这个句延伸到 sentence， 我觉得就是给大家做一个参考，这个小活动我觉得会蛮融入生活，也是一个求生的能力。如果你要去外地的话，是我的建议。
好，谢谢李老师。
好，那今天呢，经过大家的激荡之后，我们也成长了，然后也就是说，我们就学着慢慢的用简单化。那我想，其实 TeacherMate 因为他非常的认真，他就是从我们上一次防灾之后，那有些老师也发现有一些可能该怎么样用英文表示的会有困难，所以才会延伸这个课程。那我觉得这也不是不好啦，就是延伸的课程，我们学会了这些，大家再分几个阶段，大家来互相的生活练习在学校的情境部分谢谢大家给我们的建议。那我们会把这些建议再记在心里，然后慢慢的再来课程发展。好，非常感谢大家，非常感谢可珍教授慧萍校长彩丽校长，还有大家各位老师，大家一起来参与，谢谢。好，那就要用餐咯，我们就在这边吃完饭再走嘛，你们现在下午是还有其他学校的？
是
后座很近嘛，那就在这边吃饭。好，我们吃完饭再来。
一起吃，然后一起移动。
对。